Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial on ISTQB Foundation level sample paper discussions where we are talking about tips, tricks and time management related to this particular examination. As a part of this particular tutorial, we are stepping into the chapter 4 of set D and shall be looking forward to again some bunch of great questions from the test techniques to understand how we can better tackle them and have some good tips to handle them during the examination. Let's get started. The very first question we have from here is number 18. Question number 18 says, that's 19. You perform system testing of an e-commerce web application and are provided with following requirement. Requirement ID 5017. If the total cost of purchases exceeds $100, the customer gets a 5% discount on the subsequent purchases. Otherwise, the customer does not receive a discount. Which test technique will be most helpful in designing the test cases based on this requirement? I would like to add here that first of all, when the requirements are given multiple times, they first told you in the first line that there is a requirement. Then second, they gave you requirement ID displaying that it is a detailed requirement. And then also in the third line, they asked you like which technique to be used for this requirement. So this multiple use of requirement is sometimes a hint that we are talking about those techniques, those categories which are driven by the requirement. So the questions can help you, subjected you pay attention to these hints. But as far as the information is written in a different language like code, or talking about utilizing the past completed projects, then we talk about, like in case of code, we go with white box. In case of past experiences, we talk about experience base. So that makes my job very much simpler, that here we are not talking about anything else code. We are not talking anything about the past experiences, and we are completely dependent on the information provided as specification, which are details. Let's look at the options here. Option A says, is it white box test technique? Absolutely no, because white box test techniques are based on code, and here there is no sign of codes. B says black box. Yes, for this type of technique, we can pretty much use equivalence partition, boundary value analysis, or decision table, or state transition. However, I cannot say, depending on the real statement written here, that state transition testing can be applicable, but just reflecting that one of these black boxes can be easily applied. If I look at option C says experience-based test technique. No, again, they are not talking anything about the past data or intuitions of the tester. And D, risk-based test technique. I can eliminate that straightforward because risk-based test technique is not a technique at all to reduce the number of test cases. It's more of like a strategy as an approach. So making it very simple, to the point, the right answer to this particular question is B, black box test techniques are the relevant techniques to design the test cases for the given requirement, because this requirement is a detailed requirement and black box test techniques uses requirements as a basis. Let's move on to the next question. The next question we have for you is question number 20. And that's a little long question, so you can just pause the video for a moment and read that once, because I'm going to take you through a quick short ride. So quickly, the system for selling cinema tickets calculates the discount type based on the client's birth year, represented by BY, and one of the on the current year, that is CY. And let D be the difference between CY and BY, that is D is equal to current year minus birth year. And we have 4 partitions here, like D less than 0. So we will get error message, because if someone says I'm born in future, then if you minus the birth year, the current year minus the birth year, then that should be coming negative. So that's exactly what we are looking at. So CY minus BY would give me negative value. Same way, the next set of partition is where we have 0, but D should be greater than or equal to 0 and less than 18. Please be careful with the operators a lot, because you may go wrong only with the operators here when the operators are given to you in the examination. The third partition is D is greater than or equal to 18, but less than 65. Again, less than, not less than or equal to. And then the fourth partition covers where D is greater than and equal to 65. So we have different outputs for this. For the first one, we will get error, then we'll get applied student discount, and then apply no discount and apply the pensioner discount. So you say that you have already created two tests. If I quickly review them, 1990 is the birth year and current year is 2020. Then the difference is 30 years, and 30 years falls into the third partition, that is D, greater than or equal to 18 and less than 65, and covers no discount. And if I look at the second test, it says 2030 is the birth year and current year is 2029, which is futuristic. So of course it will result into error message. So we covered the first partition as well. So first and third partitions are covered. So these are basically your partitions itself. So which of the following test data sets should be added to achieve the full equivalence, valid equivalence partition coverage for the discontoid? One point to remember when they use this word valid is just a distraction, because all the partitions are valid here. As far as invalids are being discussed in the scenario, then we need to care about whether they asked you valid or invalid. But if in case all of them are valid scenario, then everything is valid. So what else we need to add? So we just need two more test cases. In fact, it has 5 options. So we will have to select 2 answers. So we have to be extra cautious in getting both of them right. Otherwise, you do not get partial marks for such questions. So if I look at start evaluating the options here, option A says the birth year is 2001 and current year is 2065. The difference is 64. And if I compare this back, no discount has been already covered because it comes into the third range. So I don't have to take that. B, the birth year is 1900 and current year is 1965, which comes as a difference to 65. And yes, 65 is greater than or equal to, in terms of D, is in the fourth partition. Okay, if you see fourth partition, it says D is greater than or equal to 65. So equal to 65 is getting covered there. So it's a pensioner discount. So yes, it's a good candidate for me to add the fourth partition test. See, 1965 is the birth year, current year is 1900. And if I do this, I get basically minus 65, which will again result into error message, and that we have already covered, which is the first range. So I don't need a repeated test. So D, birth year is 2011 and current year is 2029. If I differentiate it, it comes to 18, and 18 is again no discount. So I don't need this to be repeated because that covers or falls into third partition once again. And if I look at option E, the birth year is 2000 and the current year is 2000. So this basically differentiates to 0, and 0, if you see, 0 is covered in the second partition, that is D is greater than or equal to 0, because if you notice the first range says less than 0, okay, not equal to, whereas second range says equal to 0. So that gets covered, that is apply the student discount. So all we were supposed to find the test cases for second and fourth, and that pretty much gets covered here. So we know what our right answers are. The right answers for this particular question are B, birth year 1900, current year 1965, and E, that is birth year 2000 and current year 2000 as well. So that makes it pretty much simple and to the point, that how exactly we can tackle this without having much of hassle to conclude with the right answers, but subjected, you read them carefully at one go. If you get messed up with anything at any point of time, trust me, these are the questions which are specially designed to consume your time during the examination. Okay, so be careful. Let's move on to the next question. The next question we have for you is called as 21. And here we are saying you are testing a temperature control system for a horticulture cold storage facility. The system receives the temperature in full degrees Celsius, so that you don't have to consider decimal as the input. If the temperature is between 0 and 2 degrees, both inclusive, the system displays the message temperature OK. That means anything between and inclusive of 0 and 2, we get the temperature OK. For any lower temperatures, the system displays the message temperature too low, and for any higher temperatures, it displays the message temperature too high. Using two-value boundary analysis, which of the following set of test inputs provide the highest level of boundary value coverage? Highest level of boundary coverage. First of all, as you know the technique, whenever you are given with a range, first try to solve your answer and then look at the options. So if you see, we have got the range very clearly. It is between 0 and 2. both are inclusive. That means they are valid to say temperature okay. Anything less than 0 will represent too cold. Anything higher than 2 will represent too hot or too high. So I just got the boundary values here, like -1, 0, 2, and 3. So these are my 4 boundary values. But if you paid attention to the question said which one of the given option covers highest. That means maybe some of these options or maybe none of these options cover all the 4. So let's quickly check the options. Options are, option A says -1 and 3. Certainly it is 2-point analysis, so at least I need 4 values. But if I take -1 and 3, it covers 2 of them, right? Because extreme invalid inputs. Then B, 0 and 2, of course it covers 2 again, 50% coverage, but both are valid, so okay. If I look at C, it says -1, 0, 2, 3. This gives me 100% coverage, so I don't have to worry about 50%. And D says -2, 0, 2, and 4. So -2 is not relevant and 4 is also not relevant. It's skipping a value of 1. So I think that makes my job very much simpler and conclusive that the right answer to this particular question is C, that is -1, 0, 2, and 3 are the 4 boundary values which are giving the highest coverage for this particular question, that is boundary value analysis. So sometimes the narration, the passage might just make it a little longer and make you sometimes think as well on. For example, if I just have a different perception, I'll start thinking on temperature low, temperature high as my boundary values and think of something beyond that, right? And I'll take them as 2 different partitions to consider. Never get confused with that. Don't forget, EP is for non-numerical scenarios and BVA is for numerical scenarios. So as far as the numbers are provided to you, you just have to apply blindly on the numbers, the boundaries. And they have clearly mentioned 2-point analysis. So we just have to take 4 of them, right? So that makes my job simpler and easier for you to explain how to get to the right answer, right? Let's go ahead and look into some of the other questions in our next tutorial, because I'll just keep it here for today. So that's all from this particular tutorial team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video team and happy learning.